Hey there, welcome to episode 197 of Fresh Air at 5. I can't believe it, we're 3 episodes away from 200, and I've got to figure out something special to do for that, but that's for another day. I just want to come to you right now and let you know what's going on in this episode. We had some holiday hellos from Suzanne Daly as she brings us a wrap-up of her 2024 podcasting journey and talks about a bunch of stuff that went on. I listened to, Check This Out crew, Jen Giffen, Tom Covington, Brent Warner, Ryan O'Donnell, and Brian Briggs, as they gave us a wrap-up of their year. Super fun to listen to and great to hear that connection, as I know some of those friends. All right, I could keep going on, but I'm going to say that I'm not sure what's going to happen next week as far as podcasting, because it's Christmas week, a lot of things happening, continuing working on the renovations. My daughter, hopefully will get her in so she can drive by herself. Excited about that. That's happening on Christmas Eve. So, I'm not sure if I will be doing much podcast listening and reflecting. So we'll see how it goes next Friday. If it comes out, then I did. And if not, then I didn't. It'll come out the week probably right after New Year's. All right, that's all I got for now. Have a happy one, and Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you next week. But before that, here's Fresh Air at 5, episode 197.
I'm Andrew Murata, host of the Education, Leadership, and Beyond podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you are listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Welcome to Fresh Air at 5, the podcast. I'm your host, Bryon Carpenter, coming to you every week from Abbotsford, which is about 45 minutes east of Vancouver, British Columbia, on the west coast of Canada. Fresh Air at 5 is my regular attempt to get some fresh air by walking about my neighborhood, which is located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Stolo people, the Simath First Nation and Mathwee First Nation. I consume podcast content while I walk, then reflect on this content in an unedited video, which I post on my X, formerly known as Twitter, channel every day. This podcast is the collection of the audio taken from those daily selfie videos over the course of a week, Monday to Friday. So let's jump into my listening and learning this past week.
Hey, PLN, December 16, 2024. Happy birthday to my daughter, Bree. It's her birthday today, and we had a gathering last night, made gingerbread houses, and watched Elf. It was fantastic. Ate pizza and celebrated with our friends. So that was really nice. All right, this morning as I'm walking, I want to just let you know that I was asked by Jeremy Jorgensen of Why Edify, and you can find him out there on the internet, whyedify.com, I believe it is. And he asked me to write a blog article, so I did, and some earned wisdom that I have had over the years, and my thoughts. So you can go take a look at that. I'll link the article in the show notes here so you can get to it. And Jeremy, thank you so much for reaching out and our connection over the past year on Twix and being able to do this. All right, so thanks for that. Take a look. Thanks, bye. One more thing for December 16, 2024, listening to Teach Happier, Suzanne Daly brings her holiday hello from Suzanne. And thank you, Suzanne, so much for your podcast. It is wonderful that I can be part of the statistics of your podcast as you share the growth and the excitement of podcasting and how the community, Teach Happier community, has grown. So my contrib here is that I listen every week and I reflect every week on my learning, and it has made a difference for me. I catch myself a lot of the time being mindful of some of the learnings that I've done. One that stood out for me recently was the shift to support response. So important. Catch myself doing that all the time, and I'm aware of that, so that has helped. All right, Suzanne, happy holidays to you and your family, and I hope your podcast setup improves over the break. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. The last thing for December 16, 2024, as I'm walking, I just ran into Bruce and Sophie, friends, my friend and his dog in the morning, and he said it's one of the highlights from Sophie's week to see me. Super fun. All right, here we are, and I'm wrapping up this week. It's episode 199.5 of Tech Tools for Teachers. It's a half episode. Shanna and Fuzz, so fun to have you sharing and caring and giving. And you're talking about Elster, which is a gift exchange website that you could use for holiday exchanges or some kind of birthday exchange or whatever. But typically, Elster, it's about a place where you can put people's names, organize, and do all that stuff. We got one going on at work right now. I'm excited about that. I got to go shopping, so thanks for the reminder for my secret Santa. All right, that's all I got. Have a fabulous day. Off to renovations later tonight. Okay, bye. Hey, BLN, December 19, 2024, and I'm still in the suite. Still renovating. We got the kitchen almost in. I got to work on the sink, but it's coming along. Episode 161 of Check This Out podcast, as Bryon and Ryan have their holiday special, as they had Tom Covington, Brent Warner, and Jen Giffen, way up from Moose Jaw, Canada, on the show. And they talked all about all things EdTech. They talked about some artificial intelligence. They talked about podcasting tools. They talked about Notebook LM and ways of reviewing and using tools like this with artificial intelligence built in. And yes, they gave us their music and movies and all those things. New holiday movie, Carry On with Jason Bateman. Fantastic show. So that's another holiday movie. All right, happy holidays to y'all. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Hey, PLN, December 2024. Welcome to the beginning of winter break here. We got through the day of school, marking full week of classes and all the activities that go along. Whole lot of Adobe Express, 12 days of creativity things were going on. It was quite fantastic. All right, this evening, out for a walk because I haven't been out much. Working on the renos, super tired. And I listened to episode 113 of the Educational Duct Tape podcast with Jake Miller, as he brings us a Canva update that has a tool called Affinity built into it now, and that's pretty rad. Google Classroom Gemini update and things that are going on there. He's got a tool called Grouper, the assessment capable student, I think, an article that's important to read. One of his favorite articles that confirms a lot of his educational pedagogy, and there's other things there. Thanks so much, Jake. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to you. One more thing for December 2024. Listen to Brian Martin on X Factor Level Up Your Mental Game, as he brings us an episode called How Trust Can Shape Team Success or Failure. And, Brian, I appreciate your sports analogies as about, how sports teams work, right? And you're talking to athletes and young people about trust and about success and about these things, the character qualities. But you know what? It applies to team bigger than sports. It applies to staff teams. It applies to, boards of organization. It applies to classrooms, etc., where we have teams. And you talk about how, trust is built when the team members see the we over the me. It's not about me. It's about we as a team and moving forward. So good. So good. Encouraging. So if you don't listen to X Factor, do so, because Brian Martin brings it a lot 3 times a week. Peace out. Bye. One more thing for December 2024, as Monica Burns brings us episode 298. Congratulations, Monica. You're almost at 300. Exciting. Very exciting. As you talk about how you can listen to podcasts on any TV. You talk about smart TVs having a web interface that can have a browser that we can go and search for podcast content, how we can download apps into our televisions like Spotify or YouTube or other podcast apps like that we can have on our TV to be able to access the content that we do typically listen to on our phones. I'm a typical on my phone earbuds walking in the morning podcast listener, and it's part of my routine. But, if I wanted to carry on at home, the podcast, I could, catch up on Spotify on my TV. It's a different way of doing it. But, if it's about getting the content in, the last thing for December 30, 2024. All right, this is going to be wrapping up this episode of Fresh Air at 5 and also give you a recap of where things are at. This week was our final week before winter break. Today, I got all my online marking caught up. Students are ready to just keep on working over the break because that's what online students do, and coming back in January to a pile of marking. But that's part of the life of an online teacher. We've had some good experiences in my media design classes, working with Adobe Express, 12 days of creativity tasks, not all of them, not even a few of them, but just a couple of them, and they're super fun. So check out Adobe Express, 12 days of creativity, because they've got some tutorials in there, quick items that can be done in your classroom. All right, I am looking forward to sleeping in tomorrow. True story, I'm going to sleep in and get up and then get working on renos in the suite. Thanks so much for listening. Have a happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you.
I appreciate you giving me a listen as I've created this podcast experience for you. It's like a unique Blinkist or Coles Notes version of the content I take in, like a highlight reel, so that you can hopefully find some other interesting podcasts you may not have considered before. I've recorded the specific episode podcast titles and episode numbers in the show notes, which are only a click or swipe away for your learning convenience. I've also started to put together a Spotify playlist of each of the episodes so that you can also take a listen to those specifically, and the link to that playlist is in the show notes. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. And if you enjoyed this podcast and its format, share it with someone else. You can also follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Bryon Carr, BRYONCAR, or at Fresh Air at 5. Tweet about your experience or give it a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Fresh Air at 5 can be found on the Educational Podcast Network. Podcasts for educators, podcasts by educators. I hope you have a fantastic day. Get some fresh air before the day is out and take care of yourself because you are worth it.